Eldar is a political analyst and contributor to the Haaretz newspaper. He joins me live from Tel Aviv. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. So when it comes to the implementation of this proposed ceasefire deal, it seems to me that it is essentially a battle between Donald Trump and Israel's far-right ministers. So who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Donald Trump or Israeli far-right?
Actually, what Netanyahu would like to see is that both sides will win. So he will be able, as he did before, I want to remind you, in 2020, when President Trump came out with his deal of the century, when he proposed a kind of Palestinian state that reminded us of Bantustans, Netanyahu agreed, and he was betting on the refusal of the Hamas as well as the Palestinian Authority. Abu Mazen said 3 times no, and probably what he will do again, Netanyahu, he will tell his partners from the radical right, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, don't worry about it. The Palestinians will do the job of saying no. So I will accept the deal, and Israel will look like the good guys and let the Arabs be the bad guys. The Abraham Accords will survive it. And maybe even if we will pay some lip service to the two-state solution, maybe even the Saudis will come on board.
It's been almost 2 years since this has been going on, right? And up until now, Netanyahu has not been able to convince Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir. What is different this time around? Does he have different cards?
It's different because I think that President Trump has learned some of Netanyahu's tricks, like what he did in 2018 with the Iranian deal when he convinced President Trump to pull out from the P+5 agreement, and he got him into trouble in his own party. As we know, there were people around Trump that were not very happy with the interference. The other thing is that Trump, at this time, doesn't even hesitate to interfere in the Israeli judiciary and put ultimatum to Israel, to the judges. So there are no red lines anymore. And Netanyahu knows this. And he knows that President Trump has missed the first time the Nobel Peace Prize, and he blames it on Netanyahu also. And what he wants more than anything now is to put an end to the conflict and reach a comprehensive deal. But we have to remember that it's not only Gaza. Actually, what Ben-Gvir and Smotrich want to do, and they are doing it with their supporters in the settlements, is to annex the occupied territories, the West Bank, as Minister of Justice just said today, that they are inspiring to put an end to the whole idea of a two-state solution and a Palestinian state. It's an oxymoron from them.
Right. And I understand Netanyahu is in a difficult position right now. He has to satisfy both blocs. He has to satisfy Donald Trump, and at the same time, he has to take into account the considerations of Itamar Ben-Gvir and the Israeli far right. But I wonder, you are in Tel Aviv right now. What is the Israeli public opinion when it comes to that? And, if this ceasefire comes into force, what happens after 60 days? Is the Israeli public going to turn against Netanyahu after that 60-day period is over? Because certainly we are seeing this rift within the government right now.
Actually, according to, if you look at the polls, the majority of the Israeli public also wants to have it both ways. They don't want to see a Palestinian state. They didn't forget the trauma of October 7th, 23. But at the same time, they are sick and tired of spending days in safe rooms, and they want some quiet. But see what happened this week in the Knesset, that even the parties from the center with Lapid and Gantz, voted to expel a member of Knesset from a moderate our party, and their constituency probably likes it. So I think that the dream of the deal of the century be revived. I think that the Israeli public is very far from that. If there will be early elections, which probably can happen as a result of this crisis, not to forget the issue with the Orthodox on the conscription, on drafting the Orthodox students, if this happens, I think that the Israeli next government that may be headed by former Prime Minister Bennett and Gantz and Lapid, I think that they are very far from the minimum expectations of the moderate mainstream Palestinian people.
Right. Talking about the political dynamics now, of course, it is being speculated that Donald Trump might impose certain decisions on the Israeli society, on the Israeli judicial system as part of this deal. But to me, it seems that it's going to be very difficult, especially if you look at the Israeli political landscape, because as you remember, before October 7, 2023, Israel was in a political turmoil of a kind. Netanyahu, when he tried to shake the Supreme Court, people took to the streets in their thousands. And then if you think about it, Israel has had multiple elections in just over the past few years. So do you think the Israeli society is going to accept any sort of decisions made by Donald Trump and imposed on Israelis by the White House?
I think that if Donald Trump would run for president or prime minister of Israel, he will leave everyone behind. He is now the hero after what he did during the attack on Iran. He's a hero, and the majority of the Israelis wanted him to win the elections. And if he will put his foot down and tell Netanyahu that, I want the Nobel Peace Prize, and nobody is going to stand in my way. You can't sell him perfumes anymore. And I think that if this will happen, and Netanyahu will go for elections against Trump to put himself on the other side of the inspirations of Trump, I think that things may change.
Fascinating insights. Akiva Eldar, I really appreciate your taking out the time. Thank you very much for joining me here on TRT World.